Kendra Edwards, and welcome back to the CarDon Resource Hub. And today we have Cheryl Gentry with us, and she's the owner of PEP Binders, and I'm really excited to have her. So Cheryl, tell us a little bit about yourself, your story, how you got started, and what you do.
Great. Thanks so much for hosting me on this podcast. I retired after 44 years in financial services, primarily life insurance, annuities, and long-term care. And as a result of that, and then my opportunity or privilege to be a caregiver for 4 of my family members, I realized the importance of being able to organize people's financial and personal information. I was a caregiver for my mother, my dad, my grandmother, and my mother-in-law. And every one of those situations was different. And I realized how important it was to have all aspects of their personal and financial information in one place. So my dad was wonderful. He had a lot of Post-it notes and things like that. And believe it or not, he was 83 when he passed, but he loved technology. So he had all these passwords and things. And people don't think about that. How do I get into these things if I need to? And so he had all that organized for me, had all of his accounts in good shape and so on. So it was a great learning process for me. From that, with my mom and my grandma and so on, I realized there were some emergency situations where you get that call in the middle of the night and you need to have your power of attorney and your DNRs and all those things accessible. So I started putting things in file folders. And then from there, my mother-in-law was diagnosed with terminal cancer, but she lived 9 beautiful months after that. And so her caregiving was totally different. We had to organize caregivers for her. So it caused me to create a binder then at that point, because I had to coordinate with so many other people that wanted to offer care. So I put together a kind of a rudimentary binder with all these sections in it and spreadsheets and so on, and started putting it together. People said, well, I want one of those. So I started putting it together for family members and friends. And one of my good friends who I worked with in marketing in my years at One America said, we need to formalize this and make it available to other people. So 2 years ago, PEP Binders was formed, and PEP stands for Personal Estate Preparedness Binder. And I wanted it to be vibrant and have a positive feeling about it. So many people don't want to talk about the things that need to be in that binder. It's scary for people. You're talking about end of life things and so on and so forth. So my whole thing is be prepared and then just go have fun so that you can, do it while you're young and healthy. And do it for your children, and then just go enjoy life. And that's exactly what my husband and I have done, and that's what I'm trying to help other people do through PEP Binder.
I love that, because I said PEP, and PEP is way better. I like that.
Yeah, PEP, right? Yeah, I wanted it something peppy and vibrant. Yeah, the colors are turquoise, yellows, and whites. I wanted it to be vibrant,
Yes. So tell me, what exactly is in the binder? Not exactly, but what types of forms? Just some examples of the things that you put inside.
Absolutely. Yeah. There are 10 sections to the binder, 18 different worksheets for people to complete. There are important contacts. I think that's the most important thing. Who do I call when? Whether that's loved ones, doctors, physicians, attorneys, whatever. Where are all my important documents located? One of my girlfriend's mother's passed. They found her will in a shoebox in the garage. Not the best place for it, and she didn't know where it was. Her attorney had a copy, but so I talked about technology and accessing information. There's a whole section on that, and there's actually subsections in there because we have our personal items, we have our personal IDs that we need to have that people need to have access to, all the websites because a lot of people pay bills online and so on. Assets and liabilities, listing all those out. Household expenses. When I retired, my husband was self-employed and I paid all the personal bills. He goes, I have no clue. I don't know what. So we've documented. So there's a section to you document what are all your bills, whether they're monthly, annually, quarterly, whatever. And then how are they paid? Where do you pay them out of? How do I log in if I need to? There is a final wishes section where it's more of a worksheet where you actually go through and talk with your spouse about what you want to have happen. And that's a mindful process. My husband and I modified a lot of our thinking as we talked through that and did our prearrangements with the funeral home. And then you can actually, there's a section where you actually store copies of your legal documents, because I believe being able to grab and go something in an emergency situation is vital. So my PEP binder is on a shelf. People don't really know what it is, but I can grab that and be ready to go with anything at a moment's notice for my husband and I. And I just think that's important. I think physically having it, not just having it digitally, is important as well. So that's just a few of the sections that are in there. There's a whole section on care. I enjoyed what Tina had to say about caregiving. She's right. It is such a privilege, but it is really hard. And having, sheets that list the caregivers, their contact information, schedules for caregiving, medical lists, medical logs, so that we know as each caregiver comes in what we've administered to that person. I've got all that in that care section. It's not, everybody has their own way. They'll have things they want to add to it, which they can, because it has digital spreadsheets that I make available to them, as well as the paper form that's in the binder. So they can modify the spreadsheets if they choose to. If they want to add a column, they can do that. But it gives them a good form, a background, and a format to pull all this information together.
I do think there's a lot of value in the grab and go. Just in my own personal scenarios with my parents and different things, the ability to grab something. My dad takes it to the hospital every time, if he has any kind of procedure or anything going on, because just having that organized, it's very powerful, and it makes things much easier to do that for sure. But I do know, what do you tell people, Cheryl, that tell you that it's just too cumbersome? That's a lot of work. Do I really need to do all of that? Why is it so important for people to get all of these things organized?
I think it's an act of love. When I think about my sons, and I get emotional when I talk about this stuff, but I don't want them to worry with that, when something happens. And same with my husband. I want it to be easy for either one of us. It's emotionally hard anyway. So why put them through that? So I think it's an act of love, and it gives you such peace of mind. I truly believe if you do this and you're prepared, you can just go enjoy life. You don't worry about it. It's one less thing on your mind that you're worrying about, the what if situation. So that's how I feel about it. I know it's hard. People say, well, how do I get started? I said, take a section at a time. Decide what you think is most important. Do it when you're sitting watching TV at night. It's not hard to do. And guess what? Eventually you get it all done. So, and you don't need, like the care section, you don't need it right now. So don't worry about it. But take your time with it, but do it now.
Yeah, I agree. So tell us, how do they find you? How do they get a PEP binder? And is it shareable? Is it digital? Is it an actual binder, 3-ring binder? Tell us a little bit about it.
I actually have one. I'm going to show it on camera if you don't mind. But this is PEP. This is PEP binder. As you can see, I made it colorful so people can find it when it's on the bookshelf and so on. And it is obviously a physical. I absolutely believe it needs to be physical. Mine is full of stuff. I update it and maintain it constantly. But it is digital. Anybody that buys the binder gets digital worksheets with it, and they're in Google and Excel format. So some people say, well, I don't have Microsoft. Well, Google's free. All you have to do is set up a Gmail account, and you can go in and update it. And that's how I maintain mine. I update it, and then I print it out, and I make sure it's current. There are dates on it, and so on and so forth. And PEP Binder, you can go to pepbinder.com, and it will tell you more about it, kind of this story about how I got started with it, why it is what it is, and it's available out there for anybody that wants to purchase it. So
that's great. My last question: do you help people or coach people or any accountability to keep the process moving for people?
I've had lots of people ask that. I don't do that. I am starting to create blogs that coach people on different things. With every section in the binder, there's a QR code that they can click on, and it walks them through the things they might want to think about. At the beginning of every section, there are sample worksheets that, again, list out the kinds of things you might want to put in that particular section. And like I said, there's video that goes along with that as well. But today I'm not an accountability coach for people. I don't know. We'll see where that goes, because I've had people ask that, maybe I don't know where that will go, but today, no, but I do offer the video. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. Such a great resource and so needed. We see it a lot in our space of people coming that don't have any of their information. They don't know where it is. Even family members trying to find an insurance card.
Yeah.
When they come, it's really difficult. So I do know that this is, and to your point, it just takes a little bit of stress in a very, very hard emotional time when you need it. So and it's just great. Like you said, it's just good for anyone to help them in those circumstances. So I appreciate what you're doing, and we're happy to have you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.